Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Happy Hour podcast. Of course, we're live right here on YouTube Live. I'm Ray, starting a little bit early like we always do. Matt is off today, and Tom Nutty won't be here either. His unfortunately, his cat died, so he's spending time with his daughter and his family after his cat passed away, so he's burying his cat. Tatiana Vitiello, she will be joining us momentarily as our special guest co-host, and then Catherine Knight, who is our guest, will be joining us probably in about 10 minutes or so right here on the show. And just one thing I wanted to hop into real quick is, of course, everybody knows over the weekend, the new app Threads was introduced. And I mean, I checked it out myself, and honestly, like, I signed up, and it's very hard. Like, it's hard to me to like get anything out there. And of course, anybody who's followed the show for a long time knows that it's been painstaking. Like, when you have a podcast, it's hard to get out there and make a name and all that. Threads, it's even harder, especially for our show, because our show is so adult driven, so sexually suggestive, all that. Facebook had the audacity to monetize us and then tell us, hey, your content doesn't meet our monetization policies. And I'm like, well, why the fuck did you monetize us? So the whole is with that. I looked around a little bit, and all it mainly is me. I'm not a big politics guy. I don't even want to know what Threads is going to be like during the election and all that, because I don't like seeing any of that shit. I don't care. I'm a big advocate of politicians don't do shit for you. That's why we don't talk about it on our podcast. We don't care about it. It is what it is. My life remains the same no matter who's in charge. And I feel like it's going to be all politics. All it is annoying social media influencers. And that's one thing, like, we don't deal with a lot of influencers on the show, one, mainly because they're too cocky and egomaniacal to do shows like this, because they've never had to do a lot of hard work. They just made dumb videos to get to where they're at. I'm sorry, if I'm offending anybody out there who may be an influencer or anything like that, but it's true. If you look at any of the TikToks or anything like that, most of the content is just sludge. And people may think that about this show, and they're entitled to that opinion. I will never get upset about that. And also, mainly, Threads has no ass. There's no ass on Threads at all. There's no nipples. There's no nothing. Damn well Mark Zuckerberg is going to sit there and censor that shit as much as he possibly can. He's going to be banning people here and there, and it's not that I'm an Elon Musk advocate. I hate things he does. I like things that he does. But Twitter, before, during, and after Elon Musk, it needs to keep that Wild West type thing. And that's what makes Twitter so special, is that you go on there and you get a little bit of everything. You can see baseball, you can see a nipple, you can see, some guy going crazy, hopped up on methamphetamines or whatever it is, like, all in one feed. Meanwhile, the meta one, Threads, is just the same fucking shit over and over again. If you happen to find us on there, feel free to follow us. I'm not going to really post a lot of content on there, and I'm not about trying to build this the way that it was. It's already impossible. All I see is just stuff from people who have millions and millions of followers and, big name companies and all that stuff. And, anybody who trusts Mark Zuckerberg after he clearly sold, I mean, there's a Facebook lawsuit out there for, if you have Facebook during a certain time, you can just fill something out online, send it in, and they'll send you money in the suit because of them selling our data. Like, no, fuck that. Like, and also there's already a lawsuit in play because literally when you look at Threads, it looks exactly the fuck like Twitter, exactly the same. So there's a lot of legal shit that you get into with that when you literally copy one thing like another, especially if Zuckerberg did hire the engineers from Twitter, because at that point they're stealing what they use for Twitter to use for Threads. So I don't know. I mean, that's my opinion. Of course, we're right here on YouTube Live. We air live each and every week right here on YouTube. Anybody in the thread, make sure you feel free to comment at any point. I always try to get to those. And also later on today, our game Superfight that we will be playing, we will be asking you, the fans in the stream, to join in and decide the winner of our game Superfight. So But yeah, there's a lot going on. Of course, we're going to be back here again on YouTube Live this coming Friday. Anna Fox is going to be our special guest. It's going to be 7:30 p.m. Eastern this coming Friday, right here on YouTube Live. So I'm going to go ahead and admit this in right here, and we're going to rock and roll. So, but no, like, I mean, that's the whole thing with me, is that I don't know. I don't feel it. I don't really want to rebuild, and just the way it looks to me, I'm just kind of like, I don't really kind of know how I feel about that. And of course, as I said, Catherine Knight and Tatiana Vitiello will be joining us momentarily. So actually, Catherine is coming into the room now, so we'll probably actually get started with her once she's right here in the room. She's probably getting all connected up and all that good stuff. And of course, make sure you stay tuned. We do our game segment, so if there's anybody new that's tuning in tonight for the very first time, we do a pretty extensive game segment where we play a handful of games with all of our guests. Always pretty fun. That includes Superfight, Never Have I Ever, IncoHearent, and of course, Cards Against Humanity, which is our Ode to Humanity segment. But make sure you go on and subscribe to our show. You can find it right on www.thehhpod.com. That's the #1 place to find all of our twisted, fucked up content. It will lead you over to our Facebook, our YouTube, and our Twitter, and of course, Instagram, where we post daily videos of all of our content and various things that we cover. Of course, we got a couple of fun things in for you. We're going to be looking at photos of someone online typed in geese doing cocaine into an AI site and came up with pictures of what it would look like if geese were doing cocaine. We're going to be looking at those at some point tonight. Of course, our drunken news articles as well, we're going to be getting to. So, but yeah, all kinds of cool stuff in store for you guys tonight. And as I said, I'm just kind of on ranting a little bit beforehand. I like to just kind of come on a little bit early and get rolling and kind of get my juices flowing and all that. As I said, in case you're just coming in now, Matt is off. Tom Nutty, unfortunately, cannot be here. His cat has passed away. So, he's dealing with that with his daughter and his family and, all that good stuff. So, but yeah, once Catherine's good to go, we'll go ahead and admit her in, and then we'll kind of just rock and roll a little bit right here on the show. So let's see if I hit that, if that will go ahead and bump that through, just in case she might be waiting to start. Hello.
Hello. Hi.
How are you? How you doing? I always kind of
Good.
just slightly early on the live, just to kind of get the juices flowing and get rolling and all that.
Yeah, absolutely.
My co-host Tatiana, she'll be coming through in a little bit. Our other co-host, Tom Nutty, his cat died today, so unfortunately he's going to be here. And what I was doing is I was talking a little bit about it. I'm not sure if you saw over the weekend, Threads dropped, which is apparently the Twitter solution or something like that. And I'm just kind of like, I don't really quite know how I feel about it yet, because especially with a show like this, and Catherine, from being in the adult industry and all that, Facebook, Instagram, all that, they will just like that take you out of the equation, for any kind of sexually suggestive content. And like, I'm looking through Threads and I'm just kind of like, I don't know, like, it's all like big name influencers, politics, and big companies. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm lost. I'm getting off here. I need to see nipples.
I haven't been able to check it out yet. It's not available in Europe yet.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to get some information about it, and it seems like, there's some laws that
well, don't feel bad, because you're really not missing a lot with it. Like, I got on.
Okay, good. And I've heard some very things that are making me uncomfortable. Like, I heard that some performers had their stage name and that got removed, and they used their real legal name on it, like without permission, without like a heads up or anything. So that's wild.
Yeah, I heard to actually physically delete threads, like once you sign up with threads, the only way to get rid of it is to delete your Instagram, which I'm just kind of like, I'm not really that sure about. And I mean, granted, people can say whatever they want about Elon, but before Elon, right now, and past Elon, Twitter's going to have that Wild West type feel to it. And that's what's always made it thrive. That's why it's going to succeed is, you can just kind of do all that. And I mean, especially with all this stuff lately with, Pornhub being banned in certain states and all that stuff. It's like sex sells. Yeah. Sex is always sold. It doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, bi, trans, whatever. Everybody has sex. Animals have sex. Everything. It's
just so like let's just normalize it.
Yeah. And of course you're from Chile. So you've been around because you're in Germany right now. Am I?
Yeah, I'm actually in Budapest. I recently moved to Budapest. I was living in Berlin for 3 years, and I just moved a couple months ago to Budapest for work because like the porn industry in Europe is like based in Budapest.
Yeah,
so
nice.
I'm actually shooting today. Like they were waiting me on the next room, like to keep rolling. Yeah.
So how long do you have for the show?
Would it be okay to do 20 minutes?
20 minutes? Yeah, I mean that if you can do that. What I'm going to do real quick then is we do a series of games on the show. So we always like to do that with our guests. I'm going to jump into that now. Our game segment. Then that way we can get that out of the way and we can get you out of here relatively quick. So the first game that we're going to get into is called Extreme Personal Question. So the first one is basically it's a card and it's question A, question B. You're going to choose one of them. You don't know what the question is, and then I'm going to answer what the other one is. So do you want question A or question
could you repeat that?
All right, so there's two questions on the card. Question A, question B. They're both random. So you're just going to choose A or B for that question, and I'm going to answer whatever the other one is.
Okay, perfect.
So A or B?
Let's go with B.
B. All right. So B is what is your biggest fear? So what is your biggest fear?
Oh my God. I guess I'm very scared of water. I'm not a good swimmer. So like drowning would be like, oh my God, it's just like a big fear. Like this, like anything to do with water, like deep water is like, no, like it's a big no.
And I hear you on that because like I'm afraid of like ocean water and all that. Like not to mention like there's so much shit that can kill you in the ocean. Like I'll swim in a pool all day long, but fuck, there's sharks, barracudas, whatever. No, fuck that. I don't want anything to do with that. So the other question on this was, and this is the one that I'm going to answer is what happened the last time you tried to lie about something you damaged? Well, fuck, I broke a lot of stuff about stuff all the time. Like, I think the lesson, and actually I think she never really noticed it, but there was this like trifle dish that my wife had and I was washing it and I dropped it in the sink and it fucking cracked. And I told her, I was like, I don't know what happened to this. I pulled it out of the cabinet and it was cracked and we had to get another trifle dish. So, but no, like, I don't think there's anything recently I had that last time, like what happened last time I tried to lie. Like, I mean, I normally like, I lie about small little things like that, but what we're going to do now, there's a game that we play called IncoHearent. So what it is a series of cards that I'm going to show on the screen, and they're spelled out in drunken lingo. So what you need to do is you need to try to figure out what the cards say. So you're going to sound them out and see what they say. And there are a couple of hints on the back of the card. So if you need the hints, just let me know. So I'm going to go ahead and get those up here now, and we're gonna go ahead and pull them up, and you're gonna try to sound them out and see what they say. So all right, cool. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I didn't know you were in the middle of shooting or anything like that. We could had to reschedule or something like that if that was the case.
I'm about to shoot an orgy right now.
Nice. So what do you think this card says?
What? Help me out. Like
all right. So one of the hints is a snarky reply, and it's the least funny way to make a sarcastic comment.
I just don't get it.
And it's funny because some people get these just like that, or some people and unfortunately the other hosts aren't here quite yet. So normally they can help out the guests a little bit. So this one is said no one ever. So in a drug, said no one ever. So it is said no one ever. So we're going to go ahead and do the next card. So what do you think this card says?
I'm not getting this game. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I'm so confused right now.
So this a lot of times what it is try to sound it out. And sometimes I tell people just sound it out fast and you might get it. This one is a taste. One of the hints is a taste of the booty. And it says the other kind of ATM that you can't make deposits or withdrawals from. So in your profession, if someone said ATM, what would that be?
Sorry, I'm super lost right now.
It is ass to mouth. Ass to mouth is what that one is. And then, so we're going to go ahead and get into this last one. Actually, that one's really small. So we're just going to go ahead and not worry about that one. So, and actually there's Tatiana right there. So Tatiana's going to come through. The next one is Never Have I Ever. So we're going to play Never Have I Ever. It's 3 random cards that we drew out of the deck. So Never Have I Ever. So pretty much if you did it, just raise your hand. If you want to give an explanation, feel free. If not, then we'll move on to something else. And there's Tatiana.
I raise my hand.
Oh, there I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We hopped right into the games because Catherine doesn't have a lot of time. So I wanted to blow the games out real quick. And then once she's good to go, we can just go ahead and let her go. So the first one is Never Have I Ever Gone Down on Someone even though they smelled bad. Never have I gone down on someone even though they smelled bad.
Definitely. It's bad. Yeah. You just plug your nose.
When you really like someone, it's like, whatever. Okay.
Was it that cheese smell?
Yeah.
Like
that morning cheese.
It was tolerable. It's like a bad case of Cheetos. It was fine.
But after a while, it's okay. Like you clean it up and it's like,
yeah. Good. And it was just kind of like a whiff. It wasn't like it was just to catch it. So
Catherine, was that during the scene or was that personal?
No. Yeah, off camera.
Yeah, definitely not on scene, I'm sure.
Like. On camera, I would be like, no, go watch it. Like
contract.
All right, so the next one is Never Have I Ever Done Sexual Favors for Money or Drugs. I have not.
Ooh. Sexual favors for money.
I know. Well, I mean, if you're working, that's money, right?
That's
no, it's not a favor. It's like my job. Yeah. But years ago, before I started in the industry, I was like totally broke in LA. And someone was letting me stay at their house from couch surfing. And they were like, well, you can stay longer if we can fuck. And I was like, I'm down.
Oh.
Yes. So, yeah.
But it wasn't like on the streets, like were you walking and then you're like, hey, it wasn't like that. It was more of a,
No, wasn't too bad. Like I was already in his house. Like we had a connection. Like it was fine. Not too crazy.
And the last one is Never Have I Ever Had Sex with a Bridesmaid or a Groomsman. This is actually the first time we went through all 3, and I have not had one that I have not done.
No.
No bridesmaid or groomsman. All right. And Catherine, you're polyamorous, or how do you say it?
I'm polyamorous.
Polyamorous. And how? Like, I'm fascinated with that. I did want to ask about that. Is how does that work? Like, I mean, because that's multiple partners. Like, so is it where you have to like schedule? Like, is there a lot of scheduling with that? So I feel like there's a lot of scheduling.
It's a lot of scheduling. It's a lot of like managing time and like being like aware of everybody's feelings and how like
it's like a relationship times 10.
Yeah,
it's like a big relation. It's like a relationship times 10. Not that one person.
Like it's so much complicated than just monogamy. Like it's not fucking around. So you have to take care about them, like their feelings, like go on cute dates and all that stuff. So.
Like so what's the most amount of people you've dated at a single time? 5. Okay, so 5's not real. Five
was a lot.
5 was a lot. Okay, I was thinking
some of them were like overseas, so like it was long distance.
Okay.
Like 2 of them, so that made it easier. But I was like on my phone every day, like phone calls, like texting, and then also taking care of my partners like in town.
Oh man. So, and then you got that plus, your regular, job, that you're doing and all that. Like, have you ever had it to where any of the guys like kind of got like jealous, guys or girls, ever got jealous of one another while you were in any of those relationships?
It happened to me when I was dating a new guy and he was new to polyamory. So he didn't know what it was really. Like, he was expecting me to be like not caring about feelings, like just hanging around, like around and stuff, like but the more he knew that I was in love with these people, he got like freaked out. Like, he was like, no, this is not for me.
Yeah,
like,
he thought it was like an orgy. Yeah. He thought it was a free-for-all orgy where it's just like
actually that's what Catherine is waiting to get ready to do. She said she's doing a scene and that's what she's gonna go. So you're ready to film orgy. So who is there, what other stars are taking part in that orgy along with you?
It's European performers. It's Jimmy Butt, Alex Charger, Matthew Mayer, and 2 girls that I don't know.
Awesome. So
maybe a surprise. They haven't arrived yet.
So you have one with the last name Butt and one with the last name. So you have Butt and Charger. Like, if you put all the last names together, like Butt Charger. So like, and I mean, me, like, I have the pro wrestling background. So like, it's the whole thing that if they were to be a tag name, that would totally be something that someone would suggest in pro wrestling is, oh, your tag name needs to be Butt Charger. That's what it needs to be. And it's like I just sit there and it's like, okay, I'm in between Butt and Charger right now.
Yeah.
Butt Charger sandwich.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say it's so nice to meet you. My name is Tatiana, and I'm the host of TalkyoIshh Podcast. I love to come on the podcast all the time. I'm constantly late, but
nah, you're fine. We're always constantly early with starting early.
Yeah, I was like 4 minutes late. It was just 4. I counted.
My wife is late to everything. Like, we'll have to go somewhere, and we're super late to everything. Like, people know now I'm super early. She's super late. But no, so Catherine, with doing the adult film all the years you've done it, have you had like any kind of like injuries from doing the adult film stuff?
Not really. Like, sometimes it's just like super painful and I cannot walk for the next 2 days or so. It's like, ouch. Like, I try to fuck off camera and it's like, oh my God, like, that hurt. So I'm going to take some time off.
That's like being a trainer and working and then going to work out regular. It's probably like not going to happen because you're sore. And
yeah.
Now, can I ask you about do you do anal scenes?
Yeah.
So how do you, when you prepare, do you like not eat the whole day before so that you don't?
I used to do that, but I tend to get dizzy and like super like,
yeah, you're already thin. So, I mean,
yeah, like
you don't have fat like me and him to live off
like,
of. Yeah.
I have to compensate by eating like a bunch of food whenever I'm not working.
Is it just mainly like a liquid? You'll keep it as a liquid diet for the day, maybe?
It's just like water, and I stopped eating the night before if I have an early scene.
Yeah.
If not, I would have breakfast and then like do all the preparation for it.
Have you had any accidents with that where you had to learn how to not eat? And
oh my God, it's been a process. Like, what to eat exactly? Like, oh my God,
I once ate a pizza before one of my scenes. And
no, there was a time like when I was like very new in the industry. I was super amateur. And it was like so messy, and I got my period on set. So I was like, oh my God.
So was both of it was coming out?
Yeah, it was all at the same time. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
That's like a totally different
fetish. I had to go clean everything and like,
oh my God. Back. I'm surprised that wasn't like like you weren't like, it's it, that's it. That's it, I'm over.
Like, it was traumatizing at the time. I was like, oh my God.
Did they use that?
No.
I was gonna say that's a separate
and it was like no more anal for me. It was like me fingering myself like while we're having sex.
Like, I'll do it.
You had to change the script.
Yeah.
You're sitting there, you're on scene, and you just see the cameraman looking around at the blood, and you're just like, what are you doing? They're like, this is now a horror scene.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Come
well, it was a mixture of blood and probably soap. The nice mixture. I'm sure that guy never worked again. He's probably gay now. So. Never again.
Oh my God. And
women have a way of doing this.
And Catherine, of course, we talked a little bit, you've been around a little bit, you're in Budapest, you've been to Chile, Germany, out of all those places that you've been to, like what was your favorite, but also what's the one thing that kind of, while you're at those locations, kind of stands out to you that's like burned into your mind forever? Like, I can't believe this happened.
It's Berlin for me. Like, Berlin is home from the first time I visited. I just love the culture. Like, everybody is like judgment free, like super sex positive. The parties are wild. Like, the techno scene is like insane. Like, I have sex in the clubs. Like, nobody cares.
Really?
Like, yeah, you can just like be like over there in the corner squirting, like alone with a guy. And
that's just like Eurogasm from The Boys.
Yeah.
You've ever seen the show The Boys? It's like
we have dark rooms. And like, it's just so wild. It's amazing.
She's like, we're going back, right?
Yes. No, I'm actually going back now, like every month.
Every month.
Yeah, or twice. This month has been twice.
Have you filmed in the club? Like, you should film yourself.
No. In Berlin, there's a thing about like privacy, and whenever you go to a club, they put stickers on your phone, so nobody can.
Really?
They should do that here.
Yeah, they have been doing that like in other places as well. And I think it's great. Like, you can just be yourself, like dance. Nobody is looking and staring or making videos of you. So, like
here in America.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Here in America, it's always, as soon as someone starts yelling about their fries not being hot enough in McDonald's, it's like, time to record.
I'm recording you right now.
And with all those places you've been to, I kind of lost my train of thought a little bit. With all those places that you've been to, what's like the drinking scene like? Do you drink? That's what it was. Do you drink? And what are the drinking scenes like? Like, did Germany have the best drinking scene? Because I feel like Germany would, but you never know. Like, sometimes it's kind of like a toss up.
In Germany, nobody drinks.
Yeah, nobody drinks.
Europe. I guess you can have a beer on the weekend. Like, just a beer.
Yeah. But not big liquor sales.
The rest of the time it's just like hardcore. It's just like speed, methadone, like cocaine. Like, whenever people go to clubs in Berlin, they stay up for 3 days, at least 3 days. Some people go for a full week without sleeping. Yep. So it's insane.
Wow, that's crazy. That sounds like a lot of the nights I had when I was younger. When me and my crew would go out, we would just party from Thursday to Monday, and then from Tuesday we would get up and then party again until Wednesday. And we'd be like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Yeah, it's like the clubs are closed, and it's like, hey, I have an after party. Do you want to come? It's like, sure. Coming.
I've been awake for 9 days. Let's do it. Like,
let's do it. Why not?
So with those clubs, now you say you go to the club, you guys can do a lot of stuff. What's the craziest thing you've seen in one of those clubs? Like, it's seen or done in one of those clubs?
The craziest scene, the craziest thing I've seen, it was like I was going with a guy to have sex at the dark room. And there was a mattress, like a huge thing to have sex on, and it was full of water. And I was like, what is this? Like, and it was a squirt from someone else that was there previously. And we were like, fuck it. They just had sex on that thing. It was so disgusting. We were like so horny. We were like, doesn't matter. Let's do it right here.
There was one time years ago, we used to have a TV show that was kind of similar to this podcast, like probably about 10, 12 years ago. And we had Jessie Jane on the show all the time. And we would always go to Larry Flint's Hustler Club in Baltimore when she would come to town and interview her there. And we were interviewing her in one of the dance rooms. And there was this big purple couch in there. And so we're all on the couch, and Jessie just looks down. She's like, somebody came all over this couch. And we're just like, what? And we're looking, and there's literally like white splotches all over the couch. And she's like, yeah, she's like, someone got it on the couch. I'm like, well, we're already sitting in it. Might as well just go ahead and work with it.
All right. Yeah. Sometimes it's too late. You've gone too far,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, when you're that horny, it's like, okay, whatever.
Whatever, it is what it is. And Catherine, I know you need to get to your scene, so we're going to go ahead and let you get ready to get out of here real quick. Before you go, would you just be able to do a quick plug for us, and then we'll let you go ahead and bounce out of here, and we'll keep on rolling right here on YouTube Live. Let me just go ahead and pin you real quick. If you can just say, hey, this is Catherine Knight, and you're watching the Happy Hour podcast whenever you're ready.
Hey guys, this is Catherine Knight, and this is the Happy Hour podcast.
All right, Catherine, thank you very, very much. We got to be in contact soon. We would love to have you back and have you on a little bit longer, and I'll try to get a t-shirt out to you.
Yay, amazing.
And I'll go ahead and follow you back and follow me back. And...
Yes. Thank you, guys.
Cool. Thank you, Catherine. Appreciate it. All right.
My OG.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. So we're going to continue rolling on here on YouTube. And of course, and Tatiana, this is the kind of thing, and it's not Catherine's fault, but I'm going to email her rep and go, the guests need to at least have an hour on the show, because that's the thing. It's like, I come into these shows and, we shoot it. And like me, I have to work around certain things, which is what I had to do. So I jumped right into the games because I'm like, the games is a staple of the thing. We didn't finish all the games. So we'll finish some of the games.
Well, you know what? I'm actually excited because I never get you alone. I've never been alone on the show.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. And I mean, that's what happens. But also, it's the kind of thing that, I need to let her rep know, like, hey, I put an extra day in this week to get her in, because that's the thing. She's like, hey, she's over in a different time zone. Can you do this date? So, I mean, our regular episode was on Friday.
Yeah.
So I could have left it at that. I was going to go, I mean, Christ, me and my wife play Pokemon Go. We were going to go do fucking community day. Yeah. But now I can't go do that because I'm like, hey, I have the podcast. So, that's, but hey, we're here, we're live. So, she talked about how the partying was in Germany. So what I did is I came across photos online of somebody that typed in geese doing cocaine into the AI thing. And they came up with photos of a bunch of geese doing cocaine. And I'm going to pull up the photos now.
Like alone?
Yeah. What's up?
They were just doing it. They had assistants or?
No, you'll see. It's just a bunch of different ones. So this is the first one right here. So this is the first goose. Like you can see, like, I mean, I guess geese doing cocaine, and like, look at that pile that he has there. And I mean, but if geese were to actually do cocaine, like I would imagine it would need to go through that little thing.
Yeah, not their mouth, but I mean, you could ingest it. Fine.
So there's that one. And then this one has a problem. Like I've seen this in downtown Baltimore. Like that's like this goose has the problem, like out of all the other ones.
He's not laying the golden egg.
Yeah. And then you have this one, which I don't know what quite is going on here. I don't know if that's cocaine being poured down or if that's like some sort of beam from like a proton pack from Ghostbusters or like what the fuck that is. But
did he? I don't know. I can't even.
It looks like he rubbed it into his teeth. Like you ever see that, or someone just rubs it into their teeth?
It's called a numbie. He did a numbie.
He totally did the numbies into his teeth. And then you have this one, which this guy also has a problem. Like he's getting it hard, but also like, is this is this a Siamese goose? Like what's going on here? Because I didn't even notice this, because you see 1, 2, 3, 4.
There's another one. Well, there's a neck back there, but I don't know where the rest go. Is it tucked under? He's probably,
I don't know. It looks like the neck goes into that, and it just makes one long shaft neck, and like maybe that's why he's consuming so much
triple. No, I think the back guy, he's rimming it. He's doing a rim job.
Yeah, that's what it is. He's just like, don't worry, I got you, Charlie.
I got you. Yeah, get me later. Hit me back. That's the favor. That's the favor for the drugs.
And then you have this one. So this is like a trifecta. So basically this, I feel like this is like the mafia of geese. Like they're sampling their product before they send it out. So
don't they know you're not supposed to get high in your own?
Yeah, you're not supposed to get high. If you learn anything from Scarface,
yeah.
It's like not to just do your own product. That's not the way that it works.
Maybe they're supposed to be packaging, but they're like,
yeah, they just pick it up and put it. And then here's this one. Like I don't like this guy looks like he's had enough. Like I feel like he's like 3 seconds away from needing Narcan of some kind.
He's gonna fall. Look, he's gonna fall. My dog's over here choking.
Yeah, this guy, right? These two are just getting at it. And I think he's unsure. Like, I feel like this is his first time. And this is another one. Like, look, he doesn't have a body. It's just a like. Look,
okay, so this is where we're gonna say that these are made up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. It's AI. Someone type, and that's the thing. That's how I found them. It was person types AI geese doing cocaine.
Because I didn't even notice that right there. I didn't even notice that one until you said it, and that looks like the weirdest. Is that a rooster mix?
I don't know. Like, I feel like it's a rooster goose hybrid, and like, but his eyes, like, I feel like looking into the eyes, like now imagine this. And I thought about this, like with geese on a normal basis, like geese on a normal basis are pretty violent. Like they'll try to attack you, they'll try to run you down, you know, whatever. Imagine running into a goose fueled by cocaine,
like Cocaine Bear.
Yeah, like you're just sitting there, you take your kids to the park and they're feeding goose the bread, and then all of a sudden the geese, their eyes just change, and it's just like murder goose at that point. Like,
that's how I feel it is every time. I think they're just doing coke on the low, because they come out of nowhere, and Cinderella and all the Disney movies teach you that you could sing to them and talk to them live.
Yeah, no.
I almost got my neck bit off one time. I was leaning into I was like 7, and I was at camp, and I was leaning over to get something out of the water off of a dock. Thank God I was a swan, but I pulled my neck up and I heard and I was like, and I looked, it was the biggest swan you've ever seen. And he was going to catch, he or she was going to bite my neck for just swimming by. I wasn't doing anything. I didn't even see it. So I think they're all like, think about all the drugs that are lost from the cartel. I believe, have you ever heard of someone just finding them? No, they're probably eaten in nature.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I mean, that's the thing. And I brought up before on the show that when I went to Mexico, there was one of El Chapo's houses, like on the beach near that. I was like, I want to go in the house. There's got to be a remnants of cocaine and money somewhere.
I'm thinking that house. I know. I'm always Googling, like, where are the spots?
Yeah, like, where can I find this? But no, and this reminds me of, there was a time I was, this was long when I first started doing what I do. I was at a different company, but when I first started doing the field of work that I do, we were driving and we saw some geese, and we had these like little like circular. You ever see those like little circle red hard candies or whatever?
Yeah,
eating some of those, and like the geese lands on like the front of the truck, and he's like flapping his wings, going. Rah, rah, and I'm like, all right, well, fuck, whatever. Throw one of the candies out. So the goose grabs the candy, and you see it in his mouth, but it can't go down his throat. So it's like lodged. So he's like, and he's flapping his wings, and he's running into like all these other geese, and they're flying all over the place. I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to watch this goose die. And then eventually, I guess it got smaller because
it got
wetness in its mouth, and it swallowed it down. And then like, it was staring at me with like this death look. Yeah. And I'm like, this goose is going to track me down and put like sugar in this like gas tank for this fucking, like, what the fuck?
He's got you. He's got a bond on your head right there. Well, you know, I think they talk to each other, and pretty much like, don't ever, any wedding or anything that you're going to have, he's coming for you.
Yeah. He's just like, I'm going to be there. Don't worry about it. And you know what? You can throw all the rice down you want. It's not going to do nothing. You know why? Because I just did a bunch of cocaine, you motherfucker.
He's going to mess up on you next time.
Nothing but just fucking like just missiles of goose shit just dropping everywhere.
Do you ever notice your house probably or your car has more splots on it than normal?
Yeah, that's what it is. It was him. He just went by and just machine gunned that motherfucker as he was going by. Just And Tatiana, I want to ask you your opinion on this. I talked about this a little bit before Catherine came in, and that is the release of Threads. Threads came out over the weekend, and I am not a fan. I do not like it. I went on it for a little bit, and it's literally the carbon copy of Twitter, but it has no ass. And I'm like, if we've learned anything, anything that Zuckerberg is in control of, it will be censored to the brim. It will only focus around bigger name people. And sure enough, that's what it is. Like, I've already seen articles of people are already hopping off because it's all these really annoying influencers that are on there and all these big businesses. And I don't even want to know what that is going to be like.
Why would he open something else? Like, what didn't he sell Facebook?
I don't know. Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, he got in trouble for selling our data on Facebook. So you know,
thought he could do it again.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I know your show, my show. We have a lot of sexually suggestive content.
I get kicked off of everything.
Yeah, so. Porn stars, adult film stars, anybody who has the kind of content of people that we interview, they're forever getting banned. And Facebook had the audacity to monetize us. And they go, oh no, your content doesn't meet our monetization practices. I'm like, why the fuck did you monetize us then? Like,
oh, you know what? I think they do that literally on purpose because Angie AR15 that originally contacted you, she got monetized. She's like, help me. And then we do it. And she got banned for a picture that she shared that 5,000 other people shared of somebody spanking somebody or a video. Had nothing to do with her. Demonetized, banned, like everything.
Yeah. So, and I mean, that's the thing. I do not trust Zuckerberg with something like that. Like, and also it's the kind of thing that with that, you have to kind of like rebuild from stage one. And when you have all these big influencers and all that, like literally, it's all I see. It's just big name fucking influencers.
I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. I want to see regular people.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And it's like nothing against influencers, but my thing is like a lot of them are famous from just doing very easy things and not saying they don't work hard or anything like that. But I bust my ass. I put a lot of time and effort and make no money on this podcast at all. No money. I spend so much money on graphics, the shit that I use to do this, whatever. And I make no money. And they're also the hardest people to work with. You send a guest request out to one of them, you're not hearing a response because most of them have such inflated egos. And then they want. Yeah, we had someone on this show. His name was Def Noodles. He was sent over from one of our PR reps. Most awful guest we had ever had on the show. Like, it was a video show. He came on. He was walking his dog. Like, he wasn't even on video. And I'm like, bro, like, we do games and we do stuff where visualizations and like he literally and he does like YouTube content that's like comedy type stuff. Yeah. And I'm like, for you to come onto a show like ours and literally we could do the show without you here. We're talking about Cocaine Bear, like all kinds of, and literally it was like as if he wasn't even there. I'm like, we could have ran the show without you even being here. And I told the PR rep that sent him over, I was like, don't ever fucking send anybody like him to our show again. It's just it's
well, you're leveled up. I personally contact the people because of that, because I want to be able to do my own research. I mean, I know you do research, but I want to be able to do, and there's people that I'd say on some TV shows that wanted to be on, and I actually told them no. And it was because I don't like them, period. I don't like what I was like, I like your co-host, but I don't like you. Like, there was a girl from Teen Mom and I like certain ones. Obviously not everybody's who they are on TV, but the two that wanted to, I was like, no, because I don't like you. And I'm not going to be on there for something I don't stand for. How am I supposed to talk to you when all I want to do is tell you what a piece of shit I think you are?
Yeah. So, and I mean, that's the thing. Like, I think we do pretty well on the show because like we most of our PR reps are within the adult industry. We deal with 4 PR reps, maybe 5. Occasionally there's a 5th that send us guests all the time. And I know mainly through, like, we've had very, very few and far between bad instances with adult film stars. I think maybe 2 out of all the guests we've ever had. So they're normally pretty cool and normally pretty easy to work with. But then we have a PR rep that also kind of sends us like kind of musicians and just kind of people, who are people who don't look at our show before they come on, and then they come on and it's either one or 2 things. They're either like going through the motions of what the fuck is happening
what is
the whole time they're here, or they're just having a great time. Like, there was a jazz singer, we got Angie Wells, and we thought she would be going through the motion of she was awesome. She was from Philly. She had that whole kind of like Baltimore, Philly charm to her, and we rocked. And I mean, it's the kind of thing we didn't get as vulgar as we normally get, but we were able to still be funny and kind of level up and, do whatever we could do to still get a little bit of something out of it. And that's kind of like today, like I had no idea coming into this, our guest only had 15 or 20 minutes. So I'm like, all right, fine. Now we need to salvage and, figure it out. And that's why I like doing the format that I do of not having any notes, kind of not having any plan, because if something goes south, most shows will.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
If your guest does that and they're just kind of like, well, I don't know what to do. I have all these questions for the guest. Well, that's why you don't do that, because if the show goes south, then you still can, figure it out and salvage it to a point if you have gimmicks, the game, all that stuff.
Yeah, so I'm a salvager.
So
love being a super saver host.
Yeah, she didn't understand IncoHearent at all. Like IncoHearent, she was just so I never got around to doing Cards Against Humanity. So what we're gonna do Cards Against Humanity roulette, but you're gonna do it. So we're gonna do you've done it on the show before, so you kind of know.
Oh no, with the words.
Yeah, no. The IncoHearent is the one where you need to spell them out or whatever. This one is Cards Against Humanity, but you pick a number between 1 and 2.
Okay, I like that one. Yep. Don't play the other game with me. You make me look really stupid.
That one's already out of the way. So
thank God.
This one is, what do old people smell like? So 1 through 6. What do you think? 1 through
number 1.
Number 1. So what do old people smell like? A poop emergency.
Yes.
And I mean, that's the thing. Like these cards are randomly drawn out, but I still see the cards beforehand. When I saw it earlier, I thought to myself, I was like, I have been in the many senior centers doing the job that I do. And there have been times where it literally has smelled like a poop emergency inside of an old folks home. And I'm just like, I don't know what to do right now. And also one thing is, if you ever go into a senior center, I was once told it's the most valuable advice you can ever get is where you go, look straight, just walk looking straight, never look to the rooms.
Never look.
One day I did that, and there was just some old woman, like just completely naked, talking to her plant in her room. And I'm just like, I'm not gonna
never look. So the poop emergency, speaking of, when's the last time that you had an emergency for yourself?
Oh man, actually I almost had one the other day. What the hell was I doing? Like I was somewhere and I had to shit so bad. Like it was one of those things where I kind of held it. Oh, I was at my storage unit because I do a lot of eBay stuff.
And there's never a bathroom at the storage unit.
There was a bathroom there, but I was sorting through the boxes because I have like 100 and some boxes in there and trying to find the shit that I sold. So I'm in there and I'm like, oh my God, I need to shit. Oh my God, I need to shit. And I live 5 minutes away from the storage unit. I'm like, I'm not going to make it home. So I had to go down to the storage unit and I had to take the box. So if they're looking at the camera, they're probably wondering why I'm taking the giant box I have in the bathroom with me. And I had to take it in the stall. And then it was one of those things where I'm in there and they put, like, you ever see like the dual roll, like stacked on top of each other, toilet paper thing,
and one comes out at a time?
Yeah, it was broken. So it's down on the other side, and it's ripping off one sheet by one sheet. And it reminded me of, how does someone use one sheet? Why is toilet paper cut the way that it's cut? Because I'm one of those like wrap around my hand.
Yeah, like, nobody goes one sheet. Not even to wipe the front.
It was literally, so I'm in there in an extra fucking 17 minutes because I'm trying to wrestle this fucking toilet paper out here after this fucking tragedy that I just left in this bathroom or whatever. I'm like, I need to get the fuck out of here. Like, but I'm just, So what about you? When was the last time you indeed had?
So that's why I brought it up, because I am a bullshitter to everybody. I talk shit all the time, TalkyoIshh all the time. And I'm like, let me get them before they get me, because my husband is like, I'm telling everybody. So literally just last week, I was right up the street. I was at the ATM. For some reason, the ATM wasn't working right. And I was like, oh my God. And I'm trying to put my card in and people are asking me like, do you need help? So I feel it coming. I feel hot. And I'm like, what am I going to do? I'm not going to make it home. So I take off and I want to get my money because I've already left the house. I'm like, no, I need my money. So I'm going home. I'm driving. The closer you get to home, like the more like it's just going in and out like this. I'm crying now, like literally crying, because I'm like, it's happening and I'm not going to let it happen in my car. Like I have an Infinity. We can't do this. Yeah. So I get to the house. My husband's like, I'm coming home. I have a knee brace on because I hurt my knee. So I can't like run to the bathroom. I get out, I get up on the front porch and I was like, it's happening. And next thing you know, like I felt like my pants blew up. And now I'm like really crying. I have stretch pants on. I'm at the front of my door and I'm like, I have to go inside. So now I go inside and I'm crying because I'm like, I feel it coming down my leg in my pants. And I get to the bathroom and like, I sit down and I'm thinking I'm just going to pull them off and I'm going to jump in the tub, but that doesn't happen. I just my bathroom looked and smelled like a senior citizen spot. And then
I was going to say, you take your pants. You ever see one of those things? You take the lid off of it, and like the snake like flies out of it or whatever.
That was the snake. And I looked, and I was like, and so the night before, I stayed up all night because I was on Sex Panther, where I work on there, and I was drinking those coffees from Starbucks.
Oh shit!
Slamming those beautiful, delicious. Don't ever slam 3-in-1 because it was very squishy in the end. So I'm gonna I'm just gonna go ahead and put it out there. So I called my husband. I'm like, someone needs to help me take my pants off. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, my favorite pair of underwear have been ruined. My husband came in with a hazmat suit on. He like acted like I was just too much for him. And I'm like, why did this shit come? Why? So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna punish my whole family because nobody wants to help me. So I'm like, I'm just going to go ahead and just show them my love. So, that's crazy. What, does it automatically erase? So my sister goes, I have one question for you. And I said, what? She goes, why is it all in the front? So here we go. I'll just go ahead and I don't know if we can see that.
Oh, no.
That's it. All in the front. There you go. That's it. Now we're best friends.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yep. And then to get in the tub, I had to shower down, and my husband showered me down. There's pieces everywhere. The soap wasn't working. So guess what I did? I took Lysol, and I was like, I hope this is safe. And I sprayed my vagina and my ass, and it burnt, but I was so clean.
One of the he's been on the show before. One of the morning show hosts here in Baltimore, he was talking about last week how he made the mistake of, on the back of his toilet, he has like the wet wipes, but also there's like a packet of Clorox bleach wipes on there, and he made the mistake of grabbing one of the Clorox wipes, and he wiped, and he said it was like the worst burn he had ever felt.
It's the worst burn. You know what though? You get addicted to it. Let me tell you. Being around a lot of dancers, we have hand sanitizer wipes, and sometimes like you're like, what do I do? You got to use it, and you just got to like go for it. But then afterwards, it's like that tattoo feeling. We're like, maybe one more time, real quick, just like a wake you up. So
we're gonna get into another one of the Cards Against Humanity cards, and this one is what's teach for America using to inspire inner city students to succeed. 1 through 6. 6. All right. So what's teach for America using to inspire inner city students to succeed? Leading the country to war on false pretenses. All right. So do you like that one, or do you want to rebuttal?
Rebuttal.
All right. So now 1 through 5.
Let's do a 5.
5. All right. What's teach for America using to inspire inner city students to succeed? The hustle. All right. So that's the hustle. And then, are you good with that, or do you want to rebuttal again?
We'll go ahead and rebuttal just because.
All right. So what number do you want now, 1 through 4?
Let's do a 3.
3? All right. So what's teach for America using to inspire inner city students to succeed? Getting caught by the police and going to jail.
Yes. I like that one better.
Now the rest of those will go into the pot for next week. That's why some of these end up being weird, because ones that don't get used, I put them in for next week and then just choose extra cards or whatever. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get into one of our news articles. And then I think
this one's my favorite.
Might not go over too much over an hour because our guest isn't here, and
I'm here for you.
So
I cleared my day. I got dressed. I took a shower. We have kind of matching shirts on.
Nice. So this one is woman accused in dismembering slaying attacks her attorney. So of course, last time you were on here, and we had the whole woman dismembered and grilled on the grill type thing. So this one is a woman accused in a grisly killing and dismemberment case in Wisconsin attacked her attorney Tuesday during a court hearing, moments after a judge agreed to delay her trial. Taylor Shabiznes, no bullshit, that is her last name, Shabiznes, 25, was seated in a Brown County Circuit Court when her attorney, Quinn Jolly, what the hell kind of name is that? Quinn Jolly. Quinn Jolly was asked the judge for additional 2 weeks for a defense expert to review his client's competency to stand trial. Moments after Judge Thomas Watts reluctantly agreed to postpone her March 6th trial, Shabiznes attacked Jolly and was wrestled to the courtroom floor by a deputy. The courtroom was then cleared before the hearing resumed. It says Shabiznes is charged with first-degree intentional homicide, mutilating a corpse, and third-degree sexual assault and the killing of Shad Thiron in February 2022. Authorities say that she strangled Thiron at a home in Green Bay, sexually abused him, and dismembered his body. So is it in this exact order? Because that's a little weird. Like, so you're going to strangle them, sexually assault them, and then dismember them. And it says she left parts of him throughout the house and in a vehicle. So at that point, like, I guess, like, are you trying to like play Clue at that point? Like, I mean, like, was
he a little person? Like, how did this woman?
Like, I don't know.
That takes a lot to strangle someone, and a man's neck is usually big, and a woman's hands, like, what kind? Was she on roids?
I don't know. I have no idea. But they have a photo of her attacking.
I was gonna say.
So here's the photo of her attacking her attorney.
Is she black? She's got to be black.
Like like that's her. And I mean, like, look, like, I mean, I don't understand why, like, he's like blocking her attack. He has a pen in his hand. Like, that's clearly a weapon. Like, I would not have minded my business. Like she's probably like, mind your business. Like, you know, because her last name is Shabiznes. Like, no, her last name is Shabiznes. Like, that's the whole thing. Like, look
at him. He's no help.
Yeah. He's like, it looks like he's having a poop emergency right now. That's the whole thing. And I mean,
I think they both are, because he's about to happen on his face.
Yeah, it's like what the hell is happening? Like,
you know, she does look like she takes meth. I know you can't see her face, but those two pigtails in there look methy.
This was a meth fueled killing. That's what this was, a meth fueled killing. At least I'm going to assume that. And like, my thing is like, what's the sense of hiding the body parts throughout the house? Like, I mean, at that point, like, I mean, do you do it? Like, I mean, are you that high to where you're just like, hey, I'm going to try to reassemble him later? Like, when I come down off my high and I'm like, why did I kill him? Like, am I going to like try to reattach him and like rebuild him kind of like Frankenstein's monster? Or
how did so if she strangled him, you're a guy, you can answer this. How long does the penis stay hard afterwards that you could sexually assault?
I don't know. Like, I really don't know. Like, I've never been murdered like while I was aroused. So I don't like, I don't know. But I mean, that's the thing. Like, you know, it's weird because it says she strangled him. Like, I feel like if he's laying in bed, like maybe like the sexual assault, or maybe she strangled him while she was sexual.
I was going to say.
Like, I have no idea.
If you were to get strangled, are you going to get hard at the same time? Because you're like, ah.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, I feel like if it happens while he's in bed, maybe he woke up with morning wood.
Yeah.
It's like one of those like Friday the 13th type things where like a rope just comes over his throat while like he's in the bed, and like he died.
Maybe it was an accident. Maybe she was just holding on. It's a total accident. And then the dismemberment part is because he just maybe started falling apart because she was trying to help him and the arms came off, you know, like, and then she was like, oh, wait, hold on. Let's put the arm here, like you said, for later. And then she was halfway through. She's like, fuck, the dick came off. So then she was like, leave that here. So
he already had fake arms, fake legs.
Yeah. So they probably didn't even tell us. He probably was an amputee and those weren't even real. They just called it dismemberment.
Yeah.
The lies they tell on us women.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't understand, because the last story we did, they said how like they tried to use like a chainsaw or what. Like, what did she use? Like, if this is a meth fueled killing, like, is this chick trying to use like a knife out of the drawer, and she's just like,
she probably didn't have a chainsaw.
Yeah, you can barely cut a steak with one of those.
Oh God,
take an arm off or some shit.
I can't even cut paper with the stupid knives that I buy offline for $300. Lies they tell you.
She has one of those. What is it? High school grade paper cutters, like one of those ones where it's always like. And like every time I look at one of those, I just want to cut shit with it. Like, I'm like, what can I cut with this? And like every time I look at it, I think to myself, and it's weird. I'm like, I just want to put my finger in there. Like, what would it be like to just slice my finger straight off, or what would it be like to get the satisfaction of pulling this thing off? And I'm not sure if you've ever seen the Thomas Jane version of The Punisher, but like in that movie, he pulls one of those blades off and kills somebody.
Yeah. There's actually several movies where they have that whole, but I love the way they go and they break it off like it's so easy. But those are like metal.
It's fucking bolted in, like it's cast iron, and it's like bolted in and like all that shit. And it's like, oh yeah, just rip it right off. And it's like me, like if I'm trying to do that, I'm throwing the whole thing across.
The whole thing's coming. I'm just gonna hit you with it.
Yeah, like that would be great to cut, like try to cut a pizza that way. Like you slide like the pizza tray through, and it's like ching.
Do you have one?
Like
you have one?
What?
One of the shears. Do you have one?
No, I don't, but I do have one of those cool, what is it? Like, it's a straight blade and you go down like that, go down like that, go down like that for like
the pizza
or whatever. Yeah.
Does it work?
Oh, it's amazing. I never used the pizza cutter ever again.
Okay. I was going to say, I'll order you a pizza and I want you to cut it on camera.
Yeah. And then the next thing you know, like I go for the pizza and you're like, all right, yeah, he's getting ready to cut the pizza. And I'm just like, shut up. Like, oh God, why?
And then we'll hide the tip of your finger. And then your wife will probably be arrested for dismemberment.
Yes. She will come home and she'll be like, where's your finger? And I'll be like, you did this to me. And she'll be like, what? I'll be like, you left me.
And tell her she has to sexually assault you.
Yeah. That probably won't happen. Get out of here.
You're married. Yeah, you're married, yeah.
She'll be like, get out of here. Like, whatever.
She'll be like, arrest me now. Throw away the key.
Get me away from this maniac. Like, complete maniac.
I have to put that where.
But I mean, I feel like if you were to lose a finger, like, and I mean, this is how this show works a lot of times. Like, I get into I feel like if you were to lose a finger and it couldn't be reattached, like, I feel like I would ask them if they could keep it in the jar, like to where the finger doesn't rot out.
So, put it in that special, like, formaldehyde.
Yeah. And like, I can sit there and I can use that finger at any point. Like, if I have like fingerprint access to something, but it's to that finger, I can like just pull it out with like.
No, you can't though, because once you pull it out and it hits the air, it's not gonna work.
But that's what I want. Like, I want to be able to, like, if I can't get with this finger up, like, I can just jam that finger.
You're talking junk science, sir.
Just shove it up my nose. It'll be banned on Threads, but Twitter will allow it. Like,
speaking of Threads, I meant to tell you. Okay, so forget Threads. Have you heard of Slushy?
Slushy. I like slushies more so 7-Eleven Slurpees, but I've never heard of
There's a new site called Slushy, and it's a TikTok mix with Facebook.
Really?
What you do is not only do they show you your little clip, then you can buy the X-rated version.
Oh.
Go to Slushy. I think it'd be great for you. I actually just made an account for me.
What the hell was it called? Let me look at my phone real quick. There was a site, and I tried to sign up for it, and it's kind of like a TikTok version, like an adult version.
That might be it.
TikTok. It was called something else. It wasn't Slushy though. Where the fuck is it? Like, I can't. Yeah,
I know you'd never find anything.
Yeah, it's in my email somewhere, and I can't find it. But I saw Sarah J share it, and she's using it, and it's literally like an adult version of TikTok. And I was like, that's great for the show. But what you have to do is when you sign up. You have to sign up and you have to show like your ID and shit, and then
because it's for verified creators. I know it's hard to see, but it's called Slushy.
Okay,
so think about it. Yeah, you would put a little clip, and then I don't know if you do, but then you could sell the 10-minute. I think it goes up to 10 or 15 minutes X-rated version.
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing. Like, I don't even need that. I just need something that where people who would watch our type of content, can see more of that content, which something like that.
Well, then you could hook let's say there's a porn star. You hook her maybe a 10-minute clip of a video of hers.
Oh yeah, that makes sense because that way we can show clips and stuff like that. Yes. Like, we'll be like, hey, follow us on this, then that way it kind of, I mean, like me, I'm always been kind of good with networking and stuff like that anyways. And
I wouldn't share that with anybody else, but the fact that you had me on the show and I was like, they liked me. They really liked me. Now, I'll tell you what, I'm on a lot of shows, and it's funny, a lot of shows have other people on there. And I get on the show, and maybe the first time the other co-host or co-hosts will be there. Yeah. And then after that, every time I'm on, there's less and less co-hosts. And there's always one that likes me, and I feel like the others don't. And I promise you, I know other things go on, I know other things go on. Yeah. But for some reason, it's always coincidental that I swear to God, I'm on the M25 show a lot out of California, and there's like 4 of them. And I swear, I think I've met like 2, and then the rest will be on camera, and then they'll like go off camera. And I'm like, is it
really? Yeah. No, like, I mean, that's not what happened today.
No, yeah.
Here, but his cat got hit by a car with his daughter and burying his cat. And then it was the kind of thing that like I found that out beforehand, and I like to try to have like a cast of 3 if I can, if not, even if it ends up just being me and the guests, like if it would have been the kind of thing, like I probably would have went 45 minutes, but I would have talked to Catherine, and I would have just talked for a little bit by myself, and then that would have been it, and it would have just been a short episode. But like it's the whole thing of I have so many people who can come in, but knowing the fact that I found out at 11 that Tom's cat got hit, it was hard to find. Like I asked Matt, you were on last time with Matt. Yeah. He's like, bro, I would love to, but he's like, if it's at noon, I can. He's like, if it's in the evening, I can. So, but what I'm
the only loser that could just be on anytime. You're like, hey, I'm like, sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like I told people, I was like, you will never see this show without me. It won't happen. Like every episode, you're going to get me. You have no idea who else is going to be with me. It could be Matt, who's been with me since day one, who's one of my best friends. Yeah. It could be, the Matt that you met. It could be Jeff.
I'm your new best friend now.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the thing. Like, and it's good to have, because if we have like a co-host who can't come in, I mean, I can talk on my own, but I feel like I come out of my show more, and like
you got to have a banter. Me too. I'm a more of a, what would you call it? Like I'm a more of an improv type person. Yeah. So for me to do stand-up comedy, a lot of people ask me to, and I'm like, I can't just tell you something. I have to like have a banter. Like,
and I mean, that's the thing. And that's why I do live too. And I mean, granted, like there's not like a ton of people on the stream. Like, so, oh, there's Jason. Jason's like, hey, Jason, what's up, buddy? So, and sometimes we get like there was an episode, we had the Daisy Taylor episode that we did. We had like 128 people that were live in the fucking stream then, or then we'll get people where you have 1 or 2 that are on stream, and that's what happens, but it's still live. And I like that element. Like,
how many people do we have?
Right now, I think it's, let's see, the YouTube stats, it says 10 active viewers right now, and then Jason is in the thing. He said, hey Tatiana, he said, hope you're having an awesome day. So he's behind. I'm sure he'll go back and follow some of it. And for those of you that may be tuning in now, I know we advertised Catherine Knight. She only had 20 minutes, so she came in, we kind of did the thing with her, and then we let her go out. She had a scene that she had to film. We're going to try to get her back in, because I ask for normally at least an hour. So her rep probably, if that's the case, we could have rescheduled. I have no problem doing that. Not her fault, but it's something I just have to fill.
Usually penises take the lead.
So. Yeah. Normally, I mean, hey, they're making money. They ain't making money.
Of course. Yeah.
So what I'm going to do real quick, I'm going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back and we'll get into some of the other stuff that we have for tonight. And we're going to get into our new game, Superfight, which I think you've played Superfight before. If not, it's fun. We'll get into that, and we'll have whoever's in the stream decide who the winner is. So what we're going to do, we're going to get a word from some of our friends, and we'll be right back here live on the Happy Hour podcast momentarily, live with Ray and Tatiana.
Yes.
Hi, everybody. I'm Nikki J. Bogger, and I'm watching the Happy Hour podcast.
Derek Sharp, the owner of Curtain Jerker Designs, who does an amazing job. I'm blown away every single time, and his speed that he has getting everything back to us is immaculate.
Hit up Derek with Curtain Jerker Designs.
Look no further than Curtain Jerker Designs. Make sure you hit up Derek.
Derek Sharp, man. Hey, just want to say thank you for the posters, all the hard work you put into, man. We really appreciate you, man.
A shout out to Derek Sharp from Curtain Jerker Designs. Yo, dude, just want to say, this poster off the hook.
Hey, what's up, players? This is Hall of Famer Teddy Long, and I want to give a big shout out to my man Jerry over there with Curtain Jerker Designs.
If you are looking for the best graphics, the best designs, look up Curtain Jerker. I do.
Curtain Jerker Designs. That's who I use for any of my graphic designs and YouTube too. Thanks, Curtain Jerker Designs.
Big old shout out.
Ain't no cure for the wicked. Oh yeah, we gotta get back to the way we were before. We're told not to change, play the game, but don't look back, don't break the chains. And I know that love is strong, and we know that hate is wrong. We gotta get back.
But with a heart on.
Hello, my name is Spencer Bradley, and I am on the Happy Hour podcast.
And gentlemen, this is the Happy Hour podcast. Of course, we're right here on YouTube Live. Myself and Tatiana Vitiello from TalkyoIshh. And Tatiana, I hope I'm pronouncing your last name correctly. I don't think I am.
Say it again.
Vitiello.
Vitiello.
Vitiello. Okay. I try to sound it out the best way I can. Of course, we're right here. Of course, in case you're just tuning in, Catherine Knight came in. I was actually emailing her rep on the way here, like, hey, you know, on the way
here. Yeah, on the way here,
like during the commercial break saying, hey, you know, because it completely scrambled me, but that's why we do the show the way that we do it, is we can improvise if shit happens. But, you know, we like to at least ask at least an hour for our guests, even 45 minutes. 45 minutes, we probably would have been kind of almost wrapping up right now. We can get through our games. We can get into other stuff. You know, we appreciate any time that the guests can give us. But if we would have known in advance that she only had 20 minutes, I could have got, you know, more stuff generated in my mind to just kind of blow through with her at that point, and then we could have just rolled on from there, or we could have just, you know, did a reschedule because this was a rehab. But what we're going to get into Superfight. So Jason, of course, is in the thread. So Jason, we're going to need your help, buddy, for Superfight. So Tatiana, if you haven't played this game yet, pretty much what it is Superfight is a card where we pick a person, a weapon, and a power-up card.
Yeah, I haven't played.
Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to each choose one. Normally, like, we ask the guests, hey, what team do you want to be on if there's all of us here and all that, but it's just the two of us, so it's me versus you today. So do you want deck 1 or deck 2?
Deck 2.
Deck 2. All right, so deck 2. So you have, so what you're going to do is you're going to pick an action movie star.
Like anybody?
Anybody.
Oh, Wonder Woman.
All right, so Wonder Woman. So you have Wonder Woman that has one tiny baby arm that's also armed with a shrink ray. So Wonder Woman that has one tiny baby arm that's armed with a shrink ray, and she is going against the Hawk that has tiny T-Rex arms, and he's riding a broomstick. So now, Tatiana, what we need to do is we need to argue out why we think ours is going to win. And then what we'll do is we'll have the live stream choose. And if we don't have an answer by the end, then we'll just, you know, one of us will surrender and be the loser for this super fight. So, so how do you think Wonder Woman with a tiny baby arm that's armed with a shrink ray will beat the Incredible Hulk that has tiny T-Rex arms riding a broomstick?
So can't ride a broomstick with tiny T-Rex arms. So I don't know how he's holding that. When I shrink you, you'll shrink because you're so big, but then your arms are going to shrink more. So you like literally are laying on the ground like this. Like you have nothing, no arms. You're really small and you cannot, I don't know how is he riding this broomstick with his thighs like a stripper? You've lost.
I feel like, see, here's the thing. They didn't say what size the broomstick was. So maybe it's like a little action figure broomstick and his little arms can hold it. And I mean, granted, he has like T-Rex arms, and I know that Wonder Woman has the shrink ray, but the madder Hawk gets, the bigger he gets. So I feel like that kind of beats the shrink ray. Like every time he gets hit with it and he turns small, it's kind of like if you watched, what was it? The one Avengers movie when Ant-Man kept on turning into a baby when he kept on going back, and then he was getting bigger and then baby and then bigger and then big. Like I feel like it would kind of be like that, but Hawk would get mad eventually. And I mean, really, like Hawk has no power-ups. I don't think he needs power-ups because he's the Hawk and he's strong, but also he has the tiny T-Rex arms. So really he has to kind of just kick everything at that point, and his broomstick does nothing at all. Like,
but he's holding the broomstick between these legs and he can't kick anything because I keep shrinking him. So he is trying to figure out how to multitask the broomstick with his arms up. And even though he's getting more mad and bigger, I am just hitting him with that ray. I mean, I'm on the ground. It's fine.
Yeah. I think eventually Wonder Woman will get kind of tired because she has that one baby arm. So like she's like this. And I mean, like I've known people that literally, like the guy had a hand right here. He didn't have an arm, he just had a hand. And like those are the type of people when I look at them, I'm like, I need to see how they fuck. Like,
why do people say that?
I'm sick like that. But no, it's the kind of thing I feel like she has like the little baby arm and like she's shooting with that arm. So eventually, like if something goes wrong and this arm gets disabled, like she's not going to be able to shoot Hawk.
Wait, what arms? The baby arm is the one with the shrink ray on it, right?
Oh, no, she just has a baby arm. It doesn't say which one has a shrink ray. She has a baby arm, but she's armed with a shrink ray.
Okay, so she's also going to lay down on her back like she does. And she's going to continue to shoot Hulk in the air with this broomstick that's, he's on this broomstick, squeezing it with his thighs, and he cannot hold himself. And even though he's getting more mad, I'm shrinking it. Even if he's getting bigger, his arms are getting smaller. So they're just going in.
He has no arms. He has like finger arms. But also, like, if she's using the shrink ray, she can't reach for her whip. Like, because she has that little baby arm. It's just kind of like
the whip's coming out of her hands.
But like, is it like one of those baby arms where it's like, how like babies have like those little like fat baby arms with like little fat baby hands and fat baby fingers? Like, is it like one of those like little?
I think so. Arms? All right. Well, Wonder Woman is also a stripper. So when she lays down on the ground, she's going to show you how good her thighs are. So she's going to take that whip. And have you ever seen the aerial women that do the shows with the
yeah.
Okay, so all legs. So she's going to take that whip and she's going to whip you with it with her thigh, because you have a hard time with your thighs on this broom.
That makes sense.
Not happening.
That makes sense. Okay.
I pull that broom out of you. And I'm going to take that broom and we're going to sexually assault you with this broom.
Yeah, I don't like my chances in this super fight this week, but what we're going to do, we're going to leave it up to the live stream. I know Jason is in the stream. So Jason, whenever you're ready, or if anybody else is in the stream to seeing this, what do you guys think based off of our argument? Do you think the Incredible Hulk that has tiny T-Rex arms that's riding a broomstick can beat Wonder Woman that has one tiny baby arm armed with a shrink ray? So just let us know in the live stream as soon as you can, and we will know who won this week's super fight. So I saw a heart thing, so hopefully we get that soon. And Tatiana, what all do you have coming up? So of course, you're here with us. So what all do you have coming up on your show?
Okay, so I'm Tatiana TalkyoIshh. That's TalkyoIshh. Usually on Sundays, I'm on 88.9 The Mix, and I'm on there with DJ HHPod. Coming up right now, I actually am getting ready for my Miami tour, which nice. We're going to tour a lot of the clubs down in Miami and do my podcast live. I actually just filmed my first episode for my crime podcast called Killer Lashes.
Oh, shit.
With my co-host Red Foster, and that is actually more scripted. It's on a lady called Darlie Routier, who's been in prison, death row for over 30 years for killing her children.
Wow.
Yeah, you're gonna like this one.
Good shit. That's good shit.
I've been following this lady since she got arrested back in the 80s. Yeah. So
she's just like, I wish this Tatiana girl stopped sending me letters. God damn it.
Letters, hearts, and puzzles. She likes puzzles. I said puzzles. So she actually, there was another DNA test done back in 2021. They're waiting for the results. I don't know why they take so long, but she could be exonerated. And that's the thing. Once you break one of these cases, so we're going to file this, we're going to break it down, and pretty soon, I mean, we're going to find out the DNA results.
Oh, wow. And speaking of the DNA results, I feel like Mari Provich, we have the results.
Yes.
We have the results of Superfight. So Jason has spoken in the live stream, and he said that he chooses the Incredible Hulk. So
lies, there's lies there.
X Arms has done it.
No, shenanigans. I call shenanigans.
Wonder Woman.
It's Wonder Woman. I've been in our chat anyway.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman. There, see, look, I'm going for myself. There we go.
And that's one thing too, is a lot of people like the fact that I keep, like, I can do this live, do everything on here, but also keep track of the live stream too. And it's like, when people come in and chat, like anybody who tunes into the show, always feel free to drop something. If I don't get to it right away, I'll go back and I'll try to get to it by the end of the episode. That's the most vital thing to me. One of the things I loved the most when I was wrestling was if I was wrestling with someone, I have someone in a headlock and they say something to me, they'll be like, hey, you suck. And I'll turn around, I'll be like, your fucking mother sucks. And that's the thing. It's like, once I always had the impression is once you do that, someone feels like they are part of the show. Like we have a guy who comes in, his name's Pedro Felipe. He's from Brazil. And we gave him the gimmick that he's Pedro Felipe, the Night Stalker. Brazil, because he kept on like Sarah J one day and he kept on like just asking all these weird personal questions. And I'm like, Pedro Felipe's now tonight. And he comes through all the time. I'm like, oh, Pedro Felipe, the Night Stalker. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, so I'll always, if you guys tune in, make sure you do that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get into our featured beer real quick. Of course, this debuted yesterday. This is the last one because we blew through a lot of it. I'm sorry, not yesterday, but Friday. We blew through a lot of this on Friday. And
the beer?
Allagash White. So Allagash White, Belgian style wheat beer. Our take on this Belgian style is brewed with coriander and Curaçao orange peel, citrus forward, hazy, and refreshing. So shout out to Allagash White, or as Matt said, all of Gash, like all of Gash White, because it says all, but I think it's Allagash, so it could be all Gash, whatever. And so we are now done with Fireball. We are now going to have a new featured shot that is going to debut today. And, I had so much of this sitting around the house because this is my wife's favorite. And she always claims that she's going to drink it at some point and finish it. We have a handle of this, and we have this, which is none other than Royal Vanilla, which mixes well with Coke. So if you like Coke Vanilla, and I don't mean cocaine, it may mix well with cocaine. Like we'll ask those AI Geese that we saw earlier. So, but this pairs well with Coca-Cola or Coke Zero. So of course, I've lost like 50 some pounds, so I do a lot of Coke Zero. It does pair well with that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to put some of this down right now. And I'm going to do
I wish you would have told me. I'll have to take a shot of water that's just been sitting here and I don't know whose it is.
I'm going to go ahead and pour this over to the laptop, which is our tradition of pouring over the laptop and praying nothing bad happens.
I was like, you did that last time and I cringed. I'm like, do I want to go back on that show?
There was one time I was pouring and I dropped the entire bottle straight down. Luckily it didn't shatter, but Matt was laughing hysterically because it dropped.
Yeah.
It's the product just shoot in the air. And I was just like, oh, and I told Matt, I was like, if we ever sell our house, there's so much spilled alcohol on this fucking floor in my basement and the carpet that like you can't tell it's there, but we know that it's there.
Let's start a fire.
Yeah. So here we go. Cheers, everybody out there. Shout out to Crown Royal and Crown Vanilla. That is going to be a long term because I told my wife if she doesn't drink it, I'm going to drink it. So we have that. Plus we have a handle of it. So hopefully we can shout out to Crown Royal and they can kind of share our stuff around, maybe even send us some products somewhere down the line because we do get products sent to us every so often. So here we go.
Oh, jelly. I wanted to drink.
Good. All right. So now, Tatiana, with your show, has anything ever just went off rails, like while you were recording? Like, have you ever been doing your show and you're just kind of like, yeah, this person needs to fucking go?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So I was on, some weird guy. I don't even remember his name. He contacted me. He was telling me like he's, you know, doing all this big stuff, you know. Of course I'm doing my research, but I also, you know, he's like, let's get on tomorrow. Let's do this. He said he was on these like other sites where he pays like $200-$300 to do these pods. So he's inviting me on. So I was like, okay, so you got to call in. So I go to call in. I ask one of the porn stars to call in with me, and we call in to do the show. I'm thinking like he has a great radio voice. It sounds really good. He starts talking, and he must have been drinking. And next thing you know, he's going off the rails. We're live and people are listening. And he's talking about his mom got kidnapped. Like his 80-year-old mother got kidnapped out of Tampa, and she's somewhere in Puerto Rico, and they're holding her hostage. The cops don't believe him.
Did you ask him if you could talk to her live while you were on the...
I did, because he was like, well, I got to get you these messages that they're sending me. Like this, then he's telling me the FBI. He's saying, fuck the FBI. I mean, he is going in. He's talking, he's naming officers. Yeah.
He would not survive on a show like this.
No.
All of us having the personalities we do. Like we had one adult star on here, and I don't like to name names, but I'm gonna do it. You know, a rare time I do it. And she shout out to Erica Icon from the Rub PR. We've been working with her since day one. She sends us guests. She's one of my favorite PR reps to work with. She was representing someone named Brianna Diamond, and Brianna Diamond came on the show, and like we thought she was having a good time. And one of the articles that we did was about a bride that died, and the groom married her sister the same day when she died. It was in India. Yeah. So it was one of those places where you have arranged marriages.
Yeah.
So
he's already ready.
We're like, so what? So she died. Like, you know, how does that work? Like, are they your chosen? And I remember my one normal host, Tommy's like, God, I hope she wasn't 12. And like, that's the whole thing. And I guess that kind of rubbed her the wrong way. And we're like, you're not understanding the humor, but also we're not being, you know, like we're being politically correct. That's how it is in India. Like there's arranged marriages or whatever. So apparently that rubbed her the wrong way. And then we did a story, I forgot its name, but it was the first chimpanzee in space. And like, we were talking about him, and like, this is in the fucking 60s. Like, I'm like, can you imagine what that chimp was like in like one of those things that like spins around really fast trying to get you prepared for like fucking, and I mean, you're laughing, but apparently she's a big animal advocate, and that offended her. And we stopped doing it, but we were doing a segment there for a little bit called How Did We Get Here? And it was a segment where we would pull up a horrible injury, like somebody that like shot themselves in the throat with like an arrow, and like going through, and I would pull it up on the screen, and they wouldn't know what was coming. I'd be like, how did we? So now you're going to explain to us, how did we get here? And people will be like, oh fuck, like, you know, and like as soon as we went to go in for that, she like just signed out, and there was only 15 minutes left for the show. And I remember one of the comedians that was with us when we were doing the story on the India thing, he kept on going, you're a real woman now, you're a real woman now, like, and I mean, like,
it's all in good humor.
Like my thing is if you're not having a good time, or if you need to go, just say something. You can say anything. Hey, I have an appointment, I need to go, blah blah blah, thanks for having me, and that's it. That's the most unprofessional fucking thing you can do, is just leave.
It is.
Because, you know, my normal host, Tom, was like, man, I just made her peace out, because I think a lot of the comments that he made kind of offended her a little bit. And even her rep, you know, it was the kind of thing, it's like, you're never going to make it. Like, she wanted to do a show like ours that's much more offensive. And like she doesn't rep her anymore, but I'm just kind of like, you know, what the fuck? And then we had a guest on named Randy Edelman. He was a music composer. He did like the music score for Ghostbusters 2, for, you know, The Lion King. And so like a lot of guests come on, and I like to keep that whole mentality of, it's like I'm meeting you for the first time. I'm not going to ask you the same fucking question. But he got mad because I didn't know anything about him. I'm like, bro, I don't know anything about you, but that's why you come on to here. Like, you know,
and tell me.
The whole purpose is you can go on any other show and they'll ask you 67,000 questions. Our show is a gimmick show. It's always been a gimmick show. You're not coming. This isn't an interview show. Like, you know, I have people all the time. Maddie Lynn Lebrex, who's from the challenge, you know, I hate dealing with reality stars and shit like that. She was advertising the show, all that stuff. And then she asked what kind of questions we were going to do. I'm like, well, I can't really give you a definite list of questions.
Yeah, they asked me too.
It changes every 50 seconds on our show. When I think of something, I'm like, oh, hey, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And so eventually, like, the night of the episode or whatever and all that, she was like, oh, I can't do it, and I don't look to reschedule or whatever and all that. I'm like, well, what the fuck? Why were you like, why did you agree to do this? Like, you know,
I tell them too. So what I do is, okay, so I have, and you might want to do it. I do exactly what you just said. I do a little like 30-second video, basically stating those things and letting them know like how this is going to go down. I'm a gimmick show. I give them the option. If I ask you a question and you don't want to answer it, just say I plead the fifth. Boom.
Yeah.
We're out. That's it. So you don't have to. And I let them know exactly that. Don't just sign out. You know, like if you don't like what I'm saying right now in this 1-minute video, let me know. That's it. So maybe you should just do that. So it's almost like a contract, just showing them, telling them what it's like. Be like, I ask these questions, I do this, I do that. We don't have anything. Just do it. Just do it. Do it while you're slamming shots. So
that's the thing too. Like I have a header. Like I literally have a header that I send out to every guest that basically says what the show is, and it basically says we're not your typical.
They don't read it. You got to do a video.
Blah blah blah. This that and another. But
you're millennial.
I look at it like this though: is that if you come onto our show, and we've done research on you, which I'll admit it, I don't do a lot of research because I'm like, I know I can make something entertaining out of anybody who comes onto the show. But if you don't research our show and then you come on and you're like, what the fuck did I get myself into? That's your fault. That's your fault. Like somebody tagged me in something. Shout out to Chris Clow. He's one of the Happy Hour TV alumni who I used to work with the TV show. He tagged me in something on Facebook asking, should I pay my guests? Absolutely the fuck not. Like I've had a lot of big name guests on here and I don't make any money on this. I don't have the kind of money to pay a guest. And it's like, you know, if you have a reputable show and you know how to sell yourself, but also that helps a guest to come on to promote whatever it is they're promoting. They're promoting themselves. They're promoting their brand. I've had people ask for money. I had Sabu from ECW go, hey, I'll do it for like, I think it was like $120. And me and one of my buddies were thinking, okay, well, maybe we'll do that. But I told him, I'll pay you half now. And I'll pay you half when the podcast concludes. Yeah. Never heard back from him again. As I expected, I won it. And I'm just kind of like, well, here's the thing also. If I pay you, are you getting me 1 million views? Because if I pay you, I have a hard enough time having people share shit when they come on for free. And that's fine. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
You know, you're not obligated to do that. But fuck, if I pay you and this show doesn't fucking draw, you aren't worth the fucking money I paid for.
Not at all. No, because you could have paid a marketing company that 120 and really gotten what you were supposed to do. And I agree. Now, I've been paid not to be on someone, well, actually it was to be on people's podcasts, but there were stipulations because they wanted it on my OnlyFans and they wanted me in the bathtub. Yeah. That was it. I said you could do the regular me.
Oh,
now, if you want me in person, you have to pay for travel. Like there's things like that. And that's just normal because why would I pay unless, again, I'm getting these 1 million views to be on someone's podcast? But they want me, and we'll figure it out. But otherwise than that, like, no, I would never don't charge. I could be on your show 1 million times. Unless you want me in that bathtub, I ain't asking for nobody. And it was like $60. It wasn't. It was half of what your guy, and they gave me 30 up front and 30 when I got there. So
Christ, and I mean that's the thing. Like, you know, every time you've done the show, I do the ad segment, and that's the whole thing. Like, you know, I did that one because I have the bladder of a fucking toddler. Like every time I run that,
are you really?
Yeah, like I have the bladder of a toddler, so I piss all the time. And every time I run the ad segment, it's because I need to piss. That's why. So I'll be like, all right, we're gonna go ahead and do the ad segment, and you know. It helps out because not only is it getting stuff out for other people, it gets music out from our musical guests that we have when we do our upcoming. But also like I'm the type that I'm like, well, that's a way I can make a little bit of money if need be. But also it's not like that. Like anytime I have someone come to me, like I don't have any like paid ads right now. Like Derek Sharp, he does all of our graphic work. You know, so I play the one for Tom Nutty that he's one of our hosts. But, you know, I tell people either $5 an episode, which is a steal.
Yeah.
You know, you tell me how
absolutely. Mine is 25. Yeah.
Yeah. And or just send us free shit.
Yeah.
It's simple.
Yeah. Trade for trade. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't care. Like, I don't need to charge you anything. Just send us free shit. Unfortunately, though, people have like I had a couple people come to me for like their OnlyFans or whatever. And I'm like, well, I'm not interested. Like, don't take this the wrong way, but I'm not interested in subscribing to your OnlyFans. A free membership of your OnlyFans isn't going to do shit for me. I'm not going to check it out. I'm not going to view it, whatever. I have to charge you the $5 per.
Yeah. I've never tried to barter my OnlyFans for.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, they didn't offer that, but if someone has an OnlyFans, that's just the free stuff thing's just not going to work. Like if you're a tea place or a beer place or, whatever, we've partnered up with Team Skeet before. And
I know there.
The Team Skeet last week. And I'm like, hey, do you want to do it where I play ads and you guys just keep on sending us they gave us a free Team Skeet membership to review one of their movies. I'm like, you do shit like that, I'll play your Safe for Work trailers every single episode, whatever, and I mean, that's the whole thing, that it makes it a lot easier. So if you're out there and you're doing a podcast, just be smart, and it's the kind of thing that, go into it thinking, you're not going to make it overnight. I've been doing this for 4 fucking years.
I've been doing this for 4 years. Yeah.
And I have episodes that have 39 views. I have episodes that have 39,000 views.
Same.
That's just the way it works. I started this to keep myself occupied when I retired from wrestling, and that's what it is. But I've always been good with being able to talk to people, being able to sell myself, because when you're a wrestler, you need to sell to the crowd everything you're doing, that you're really getting hurt, that you're really beating your opponent's ass, that what you're saying on the mic, you fucking mean. That's the whole thing. And I think that's what helps me out, because people go, how do you get all these guests? I know how to sell myself. And then also, luckily I'm at the point to where I don't really need to book my own guests anymore. I just have PR reps go, hey, this person, this date's yours, this date's yours, this date's yours. Whoever you want to send me, I don't care. But I still occasionally send out for other people. And, it's harder getting musical guests and, certain guests from certain fields, because we do so much in the adult industry.
Yeah. They don't want their name attached.
That stigma. And it's like, who gives a shit? You're going home and looking at these people when you get home anyway.
Let me tell you. So the last couple times I've been on your show, my OnlyFans went almost 80 people more.
Really?
I'm at almost 300 now. Yeah. But purposely they came on and they said, hey, this is where I saw you. And I said, oh,
really?
Yeah. It was
I was thinking about with that is that I wanted to somehow set up with people that come on, like some of our guests. Hey, is there any way we can do a promo code? You don't have to give us anything. We don't want anything. We don't want money, but can we do a promo code to where you do like a discount? Some sort of thing where you do like a free month or like some sort of percentage off if you use the promo code the HHPod.
And that way, I can get it back to you saying that.
Then that way people go, because I had Ashley Pontius on Friday, who's one of our comedians, and she said that she quotes around. She's like, yeah, I get your creepy HHPod all the time. And I'm like, you know what? That's great though, because it's our social footing. We know that we're doing a little bit of something, and there's really days, because I have, I'm ADHD. I've always had really, really bad depression problems, where there's some days I wake up, I'm like, fuck it. And I just want to push the computer off the desk. I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore, because it's so hard getting that social footing, because it's not there in the YouTube views. It's not this and it's not that. But then, I hear from you, I hear from Ash. Oh, and I'm like, well, people are there. People are seeing it.
They're there.
Where is this coming?
Because I feel the same way. I feel like I'm gone viral on a lot of stuff, and I'm like, so where's the disconnect?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I've never found. I've been to seminars, everything. There is nobody that can tell me where's this disconnect.
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing. Like, I don't understand with a lot of stuff. Socially, it's so hard to get your shit out there. Even with Twitter, Catherine Knight was sharing this all the time, even though she was here for 20 minutes or whatever. It is so hard for someone to just sit there and click a link and check it out, because what it is they're like, oh, another podcast, because these girls get lined up for 15 podcasts, pow, 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 pow. And then it sucks, because we're very unique. We have Brittany and Ninja on or whatever and all that. And that was their third interview. So like some of the stuff that we throw out, they're just kind of like, what the fuck's happening? But they had a good time.
Yeah.
Like we did stories. I did 4 stories of people who blew their dicks off with fireworks. Like that's the whole thing. And like, but it's different because you're coming on and you're like, okay, well, I'm not getting the same thing I'm getting from this podcast. Like these guys are crazy, but these guys also have something, like, you know, and that's why, you know, we reach out to a Sarah J or something like that. They'll be like, yeah, sure. Sarah J came in on our show when I was talking about going to the doctor and I left a piss sample. And I'm like, you know, what happens when that spins around to the other window? Like, what happens if someone take that pee? I'm like, what happens if like someone sits there and it's like, you know, you're in there and you're like, you pull out just a random sample and you take it off and you just swig the sample. Like, and she came in on that. She's like, what the hell did I just come in on? And it's like, never know what you're going to come into on this show when you come in. And like then we're talking about that stuff on the show. So yeah, I don't know. Like, you know, it's one of those things where this episode is kind of like a salvage episode because it's like, hey, this was plan A, but now we're doing plan B.
I'm always somebody's plan B. I've got thoughts of it.
Not in some states anymore.
It's always underground and all. They're called Plan B.
Yeah.
Plan
D. Hard right hand to the stomach.
You know, I always laugh. I make a joke sometimes. You know, a friend will say something. I'm like, you want me to take the coat hanger?
Yeah. And I mean, that's the thing. Like, I feel bad because comedy can't be what it was before. No. And I'm by no means a comedian, and we have a lot of local comedians on the show. And when me and Matt first started doing this, we're like, if we're having these people cracking up, then we're at least funny to a point. We're being ourselves, and that's, you know, we're talking about the shit. These are just natural thoughts that I have. Like
my niece, I was driving my niece I went to the ortho the other day for my knee, and I was driving, you know, and my niece came with me. She's only 15. And she was holding like her mouth like this. I'm like, what are you doing? She goes, nothing. She goes, my mouth hurts. I said, why? She goes, you have it locking up. And I'm like, what do you mean I have it locking up? She goes, you're so funny. Like, she's like, I can't stop laughing. And I said, I haven't cracked a joke all morning. Like, I dead ass been talking about my knee. I got a shot. I was crying. I was on the phone. Like, she was like, no, TT. She was like, you're so funny. And she's leaning back. I said, probably it's just your stupid face. And she was like, she couldn't stop. Like, she was like, and I was like, I don't crack jokes. I tell the truth. And like, I crack up, but like, it's hard like for someone to make me laugh. And my sister and my niece, for some reason, can make me laugh. My niece, we were at Busch Gardens. She goes, we were watching Elmo, you know, but she was just messing around. She goes, Elmo's the goat. Like, what are you talking about? She's like, that's the goat right there. And I was like, the goat? Like, what are you talking about? Like, and she was trying to call people because I was like, oh my God, I'm getting a shot. I need help. She was like, who do you want me to call for support? And I was like, I don't have any friends. I don't know. I was like, my sister, my mom, my husband, that's it. I was like, I have nobody. Call the dog. Like, then you ever have that moment you realize you're like, I don't have any friends, like zero, like nobody to call. I don't know if you've ever had.
Like when I was younger, we had a big crew of people. Like, but you kind of grow away from people at time. But now I'm just kind of at the point. I'm like, I have like 1 or 2 really good friends, one of which does this show. I'm not sure. Oh no, you did do the episode with Alexa Payne. You did Alexa Payne.
Yes,
right?
yes.
That was me and Matt. Matt's my regular everyday co-host.
It's hard to know because I think I've gone on the last 2 and he's like, yeah, can't be there.
Yeah. You know, and I mean, that's the thing, like Matt has kids and all that stuff. So I always tell him, I'm like, bro, I need to make sure this ship stays afloat. You know, if you can't make it, I can find somebody else.
So your children just get to stay on the side. Yeah. You're like, you don't matter, just go.
Yeah. Get out of here, kids.
But I don't have any kids.
We're approaching the hour 30 mark. So I think we're going to go ahead and get ready to get out of here and wrap it for this episode. Once again, for anybody who's tuned in right here on YouTube Live, and when this eventually hits our audio thing, I apologize. I'm so fucking backed up with that because I'm so busy with other stuff. I think we're now into our January episodes on our audio form, but I keep gradually releasing them as I get time to edit them and drop them. But the views are in the video form and not the audio form. So for those of you who listen via audio, this will be out eventually. I can't promise you when, but for those of you who are streaming live and coming each and every week, we thank you once again. Sorry that Catherine Knight cannot be available longer. I did not know had such, but she's getting railed right now. So
yeah, she's getting pounded, so it's fine.
That mad about it. But it's also the kind of thing. So Tatiana, for anybody tuning in for the first time or seeing this for the first time, our creepy fans are like, we love those pink little cat ears that you have. We're going to subscribe to your OnlyFans. Like, where can they find you? And don't
I'm pink here and I'm pink here.
You know, 80 dudes camped out in your front yard. Like, Tatiana, we saw you on this disgusting podcast, Happy Hour podcast. Like, please acknowledge us. Like,
no, I'll do it for it. This is Tatiana TalkyoIshh, and I love the Happy Hour podcast because the last 2 times I did up. This is Tatiana TalkyoIshh. It's TalkyoIshh, TalkyoIshh podcast. I'm gonna have my co-host on there right now. I cannot wait. Stay tuned for Killer Lashes, my other podcast, crime podcast. And yes, you can go to my OnlyFans, TalkyoIshh. That's TalkyoIshh, because people get it wrong. I'm streamed on everything live. I'm viral on TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, anything you can think of. The Clapper. Most people don't know. And I think I will be on Squishy pretty soon. So yes, please, I love all the creeps. Please come on. And if you want to, tell me that it's the promo code Happy Hour Podcast, and I will give you all the discounts possible. How about this? 1 free video.
Okay. All right. We'll plug that. So anybody that sees Tatiana on any of our episodes, if you see her on any of our episodes, use promo code the HHPod, and you get 1 free video from her OnlyFans. We'll promote that, at the conclusion of this when we reshare the episode. And Tatiana, honestly, thank you. And if anybody cannot find Tatiana's stuff, make sure you go over to www.thehhpod.com. TalkyoIshh Pod is in our official links on our website. So make sure you click over to that. Once your new crime show comes up, send us that. I'll put it on in our links. I like to try to give back to anybody, who helps us out by linking at least to our website. So if anybody has a hard time finding anything, they can at least find your show and then route everything,
And promise me you will come on my show when you're ready.
Oh yeah. Let me know.
I know you said you got a minute, but I would like this audio when you can, because I'll post it up on mine.
Okay. Yeah, I can send it to you, because what the cool thing is with Zoom, it gives me an audio file.
Yeah, you don't have to edit it. Just send it to me and I'll put it up.
Yeah, I can send it right to you. I might not be able to get to it today, maybe tomorrow.
That's fine. I'll remind you.
I'll send it over tomorrow. I might not be able to do it via email, so we'll work out
Google
Dropbox or whatever. I'll get it over to you. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and conclude here on YouTube Live. Thank you again for everybody who tunes in each and every week, or who will see this after the fact. Of course, we're going to be right back here live on YouTube Live next Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Anna Fox is going to be our featured guest. So she is going to be here along with us. We'll do our episode preview that we always do each and every week. Whether or not we get to those topics or not is still up in the air and undecided based on however the episode goes. But of course, I'm Ray. Tatiana, thank you as always for being on the Happy Hour podcast. I appreciate it.
Always second string.
And we will see you guys next week right here on the HH Pod. All right.